Hi, everybody. Matt Bernier, joined by Woodbine analyst Jeff Bratt, taking a look at the Woodbine play of the day for Saturday, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. The stakes race on Saturday is carded as race number 8, a little bit light and short as far as the field is concerned. Only 5 are going to go. So we're going to take a look at the 9th race, an optional claimer, 7/8 of a mile on the main track. And Jeff, before we dive into it deep, let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, because there's a blue bar there and there's a horse loose on the front end. The blue bar indicates it should be favoring horses on or near the early lead, and they have the number 4 Negon's Legacy out there cutting out the fractions. There's not a lot of speed in this race. Do you agree or disagree with the form in the front?
I would agree. I think this horse does get to the front rather easily, despite the fact that, as of late, this has been more of a route horse. But for whatever reason, Matt, on Tapeta, they'll go 48 seconds to the half in 7 furlong races, and still somebody from last will come to win the race. It just seems like the old handicapping adages on dirt, they're just sort of thrown out the window sometimes when handicapping Tapeta. The big thing with Negon's Legacy is, obviously, at one time, she was a highly thought of individual, but she's had a ton of breaks along the way. I gravitated towards her originally when I was handicapping this race, and then ultimately I bumped her all the way down to third with my selections.
There are a number of horses in here that feel like they're more nibblers necessarily than winners.
Yes.
A bunch of horses that like to settle for minor awards. And with the lack of pace, you brought it up, maybe not that big a deal as far as the Tapeta is concerned. Do you have much faith in any of these fillies and mares in this spot? Or is it more a matter of, you know what, maybe we can work out an advantageous position, and maybe just on this day they happen to be better than everyone else?
Well, I'll tell you how I'm handicapping this race. For simulcast fans who are going to join us on Saturday, I've gone 4 deep on my late pick 4 ticket in here. I've gone with the 4, 5, 6, and the 7. They're the 4 horses that I'm focusing on in here. I have landed on Kremlin Queen as my top selection, but you hit the nail on the head. This horse never wins, but you look at the company that she's been facing: Let It Ride Mom, Inflexibility, Ghostly Presence. I mean, they would all demolish this field. The one thing I will say about this horse, there's 2 things that kind of attract me. First of all, the fact that Hernandez is riding for the very first time. That's a real interesting development. And secondly, the fact too, this barn did very well on opening weekend and last weekend as well. Not a lot of representatives, but both horses ran well to this point.
I got to be honest, I had a really difficult time going through this race as well, simply for the fact, like we stated, a lot of these girls like to run second and third.
Yeah.
I've always had a thing for Trini Brunette. I think she's a nice little filly, or mare at this point. She's 5 years old, but she always seems to find one at least better than her, if not more than 2. I just kind of took a flyer with the number 8 Greek Justice in here. This is a horse. She might be a little bit slow as far as figures are concerned. She has a couple of races on her page that are good enough to win. I like the fact that she's fired fresh off the bench in the past, and also, if you believe the pace projector, there's a scenario where Greek Justice is the one sitting off of Negon's Legacy. And if you don't think Negon's Legacy can still get the job done, perhaps the 8 Greek Justice can inherit this thing and maybe just get brave. Crazy idea with the number 8, or you think there might be something there?
No, and the barn, you know what? The barn was off to a really slow start. I believe it was last year, but they've been well represented so far this meet as well. So I like the fact that, despite the fact they haven't won as of late, this is a horse that's coming into this race in relatively good shape. And this is your classic type of scenario when handicapping Woodbine race this time. A lot of horses coming off of extended layoffs. They've been put away for the winter time, and now they're asked to go 7 furlongs right off the bat. So the more trained these horses can get, that's the better as far as I'm concerned when handicapping a race like this.
Interesting race number 9. You can go a number of ways. An optional claimer up at Woodbine Saturday afternoon. Jeff's going to go with the number 5 Kremlin Queen, but he's going to use 4 as far as the pick 4 is concerned. And be sure to tune into the Woodbine simulcast feed all day on Saturday afternoon. I'll take a shot with the number 8 and here, Greek Justice again. The 9th race at Woodbine. The Woodbine play of the day for Saturday. Scheduled post time is 5:20 Eastern. Best of luck.